his name here, but the Mets keeper? What is it? Okay. What's your name? Where are you from? Manhattan, okay. It was a good Super Bowl, I heard, right?
Good power.
Happy with the results? Yeah.
Won the Bulls.
Huh? How did I know? I saw you won the pool. I felt at 8 times. Listen, don't get offended by what I tell you. I love you so much, but I felt you're still in the Super Bowl. Next thing going, you're going to be out of the Super Bowl, right? Okay. No, brother. Listen, for me, you're the highest. If I just go, I have to go on tour in about a month. I got to go to Manhattan also. I tell you, 8 times. I make it there 5 minutes. I always forget about me. I'm saying, for me, you're the highest. If you live there, where do you live? Manhattan.
Upper West Side.
Okay, you're the highest. You can make it to the Carly Box show there?
I've been there, yeah.
Been there? Okay, so I got to tell you a little story. Ellie, I'll show the picture later. I was a long-haired hippie. I mean, I had really long hair. And I was playing the rock and roll band. I really didn't know what day was Shabbos. I didn't know what day was Shabbos was. And, you know, it wasn't so fond of that whole Bet Knesset thing, you know. If I went to my aunt's house in Yom Kippur, she said I should go, so, you know, I used to go, but I wasn't. I was a football, rock and roll, Leonard Skinner, you know what I'm saying? Stevie Ray Vaughan. Anyway, anytime, once I was in Central Park, you won't believe this story. I had just come back from a trip to Israel. My sister was in Israel, and my mother said go visit, whatever. And I felt something really big. I didn't know what it was, though. But anyway, some guy in this kibbutz, and Getty, he gave me Pirkei Avot book. Anyway, I said, I'll check it out. I told him I would check it out. Anyway, I'm sitting there in Central Park. You know where the fountain is? The fountain, there's the main fountain there in Central Park there. There's a lot of rollerblades going on, a lot of reggae, a lot of nice smells there. I guess interesting smells from the trees, you know, all sorts of other smells going on there. And hanging out there in Central Park, and Ellie and Eitan, all of a sudden this old beggar, he looks like Ed Koch, just skin Ed Koch passed away, but this guy looked like Ed Koch at like age 80, with like this brick green jacket, and it was the middle of the summer, he had no shoes on, and I'm just in the Pirkei Avot, I started opening up, it was on Shabbos, and you know, it says there that, Rav Eli says, there's no thing in the world that doesn't have its place, no person doesn't have its time, something like this. Anyway, it's going on the Pirkei Avot explaining how everything in the world has a thing, is something to learn from everyone. And this homeless beggar, he comes around, Eitan, and usually, you know, I'm from Connecticut, so my parents told me, you know, listen, homeless beggars, it's cool, but, you know, you can't take risks, so, you know, stay away from that stuff. And so I was a little bit nervous. I wouldn't like hanging out and speaking with homeless beggars. But here in the Pirkei Avot, it says there's something you can learn from everything. I said, let's check it out. I just came from Israel, felt the Holy Land, it's like, my heart was open. So this homeless beggar comes around, and he has a little dish in his hand, and he says, make a wish, don't tell mama, whatever you put in, you get it back 100,000 times. That's his little sketch. And so anyway, Eitan, you know, I didn't know it was Shabbos, I had a few coins, I didn't know you're not supposed to take coins yet, you know. So I put a few coins in there. And so he asked me what I'm reading, this homeless beggar. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm not going to tell him Pirkei Avot, because for sure he's not going to know that. I told him I'm studying Hebrew. He says, oh, you're studying Hebrew? So he says a bracha. He says, Baruch Atah Hashem, he says some bracha. I said, what, are you Jewish? He says, yeah, of course I'm Jewish. He says, not only am I Jewish, he says, I daven every morning. I says, you daven every morning? He says, yeah. He says, where I live on the street, there's this rabbi there, and he needs a minyan, and he gives me $5 and a muffin, and he puts a kippah on. I just have to sit, he knows I'm Jewish, I just have to answer. Okay, this is on the Millenary Center Synagogue, it's called. It's on 38th and like 8th. It's where the Satmar pray mincha. They got tons of minyans of mincha, but it's hard to get a minyan there in the morning. Anyway, make a long story short, I hang out with the guy all day. He was born in the Depression in Central Park. Sunday I go there to see where he tells me that he's davening. I walk in there, and I can smell already his bag before I even open the door. He's there. And I met the rabbi there. It was one of the Hasidim of Rav Kahana who was living in Hebron. He went back to America. Anyway, to make a long story short, I told him I'm a musician. 2 weeks later, I have a concert where he says with this rabbi. Who was the rabbi? Rav Shlomo Carlebach. I'm playing with Rav Shlomo Carlebach there. So what happened? Before then I had played with some famous people, some famous musicians. And you know, I played with Randy Brecker, Sweat Lemons, you know, Blood, Sweat and Tears. You don't know this is before you play. And some other people that were well known, warmed up from a few people, but I always felt that what people were on the stage and off the stage, it was like a show. The stage was a show, and the person goes off the stage, it was disappointing all the time. And this Rav Carlebach guy gets on the stage, and he was singing the most deepest blues I ever heard. It wasn't regular blues, it was Jewish blues. And he was telling stories about the Baal Shem Tov. Make a long story short, he said I should come play with him on Eretz Yisrael, and now I'm here. So I want to play a nigun that is, I feel Shlomo sends nigunim down, you know. The truth is I could play a lot of nice songs, Eitan.